Princess Leonor's love story, her father King Felipe reaction. Royal families are often seen as untouchable, their emotions hidden behind protocol, uniforms, and carefully curated smiles. People assume that a future queen's love life is always a matter of strategy, not heart. But Princess Leonor's love story proves just how human royalty can be, and how deeply it touches those closest to her, especially her father, King Felipe. When news of Leonor's engagement to Prince Christian broke, the world anticipated a polite, ceremonial response from the Spanish monarch. Yet King Felipe's reaction surprised everyone. It wasn't just a formal announcement or a measured smile, it was layered, profound, and deeply revealing. Because behind every royal announcement lies a father's hopes, fears, and love for his child. And in this case, the reactions were as much about family as they were about monarchy. Why did Felipe's reaction capture global attention? What subtle gestures, words, and expressions revealed the truth behind his feelings? And how does his response reflect both the pressures of royalty and the timeless role of a parent watching their child grow into love? To understand, we must begin with Leonor herself. From childhood, she was trained to serve her country, to uphold centuries of tradition, and to prepare for a life that few can truly comprehend. Every speech, every military exercise, every public appearance was part of a path that would lead her to the throne. Yet beneath that crown lay a young woman, longing for personal happiness, for love that is her own, and for someone who would see her as Leonor, not just as future queen. Enter Prince Christian. A man of dignity, charm, and understanding, Christian entered Leonor's life quietly, without fanfare, and built a relationship founded on mutual respect and genuine connection. Their courtship was discreet, shielded from public scrutiny, yet it grew steadily, forming the bond that would eventually capture global attention. The engagement announcement set the stage for Felipe's reaction. The cameras were poised, the palace prepared, and the media ready to dissect every movement. As Leonor revealed her intentions, Felipe's initial response was measured, as expected, but those who watched closely saw more. The subtle tilt of his head, the softening of his gaze, the quick exchange of glances with Queen Letizia. In those moments, the formality of monarchy gave way to a father's pride and emotion. And yet, Felipe's reaction was not only emotional, it was deeply strategic. He knew the significance of this union, not only for Leonor's personal happiness, but for Spain's monarchy and its relationship with Denmark. Behind the pride was awareness, responsibility, and the understanding that every public gesture would be scrutinized and interpreted. The challenge for Felipe was to balance fatherly love with the expectations of his role as king. The engagement party that followed revealed even more about Felipe's perspective. Observers noted how he positioned himself beside Leonor, subtly protective yet encouraging. His conversations with Christian were polite but meaningful, demonstrating both acceptance and cautious guidance. And when Leonor and Christian shared their first public toast, Felipe's eyes betrayed a mixture of pride, relief, and a touch of melancholy, a recognition that his daughter was stepping into a new chapter, one where she would increasingly chart her own path. But the curiosity deepens when we examine the private moments, glimpses captured in photographs and insider reports. Felipe reportedly whispered words of encouragement to Leonor before she addressed the crowd, a reminder that he would always support her, no matter where life took her. That simple gesture, unnoticed by most, spoke volumes about the depth of a father's love, the weight of expectation, and the emotional complexity of raising a future queen. Even Queen Letizia's presence highlights the intricate dynamics of the family. Her composed demeanor, supportive gestures, and subtle cues reinforced the message that Leonor's happiness was paramount. Yet the tension of royal duty lingered in the background, a reminder that love and monarchy are rarely without complication. Beyond the family, Felipe's reaction also reflected his understanding of Spain's national gaze. Citizens and media alike were watching, analyzing each expression, each word, each gesture. He recognized that his response would set the tone for public reception of the engagement, for the perception of the monarchy's adaptability, and for the narrative of a young princess embracing love while upholding duty. The following weeks only amplified this curiosity. Felipe's public appearances, subtly different when Leonor was present, showed a blend of warmth and authority. Insider reports described moments of quiet conversation, private guidance, and even humor exchanged between father and daughter, a reminder that beyond crowns and protocol, family relationships remain human, intimate, and evolving. And yet, even as the public saw these gestures, questions remained. How would Felipe reconcile his protective instincts with the inevitable independence of his daughter? How would Spain perceive the young couple's choices, especially with Christian's Danish background? What compromises, if any, would the royal household make to balance tradition with the personal happiness of its heir? Each answer unfolded slowly, creating a chain of curiosity loops that kept royal watchers engaged. For example, when Felipe attended Leonor's first official event with Christian, observers noted a subtle approval in his demeanor, signaling acceptance without overshadowing the couple. Then came reports of private family meetings, where the dynamics of expectation, affection, and diplomacy intertwined, each revelation prompting more questions about the evolving relationship between father, daughter, and future son-in-law. Philippe's reaction also carries historical significance. Monarchs throughout history have often struggled to balance personal emotion with state duty. Philippe's navigation of this engagement, his subtle displays of affection, pride, and caution, demonstrates a modern approach to monarchy, one that acknowledges the humanity of its heirs while maintaining the dignity of the institution. Even the symbolic gestures at family events reinforced this balance. A hand placed on Leonor's shoulder, a shared glance across the room, a quiet word in passing, all convey a nuanced understanding of fatherly love within the strictures of royal life. Each gesture adds depth to the story, revealing layers that are invisible to the casual observer yet deeply meaningful for those who study the monarchy closely. And then there is the public reaction. Spain, Denmark, and the global royal audience responded not only to Leonor's engagement, but to Philippe's humanity. Memes, commentary, and social media analysis highlighted the king's expressions, dissected his gestures, and celebrated his support. The narrative that emerged was clear. Felipe is not just a monarch, he is a father who navigates love, duty, and tradition with remarkable grace. Yet, even with this public praise, Felipe's response is far from simple. He carries the weight of succession, the scrutiny of the world, and the emotional complexity of watching a child mature before him. Each decision he makes, each nod, smile, or pause, is deliberate, calculated, and full of meaning, creating a web of curiosity that keeps the story alive long after. The engagement announcement. In the end, Princess Leonor's love story is inseparable from her father's reaction. It is a tale of affection and pride, tension and relief, tradition and modernity. It demonstrates that even in the most public of lives, human emotion cannot be concealed. Philippe's response reveals that love, guidance, and pride coexist with the demands of monarchy, shaping both the present and the future of Spain's royal family. As Leonor steps forward with Christian, Felipe watches, not just as a king, but as a father who understands the gravity of love, legacy, and duty. And in those moments, the world glimpses something rare, the intersection of heart and crown, of family and monarchy, of private devotion and public expectation. This is the story of a father's reaction, a daughter's love, and a monarchy that continues to evolve, one moment, one gesture, and one decision at a time. And it leaves us asking, how will Felipe continue to guide, protect, and support Leonor as she embraces both love and the crown? Only time will reveal the next chapter in this deeply human royal story.